Welcome back. Today's episode, we're going to pick up right where we left off and start putting her back together. This is where we left off. I've got both wheels off, I've got the front suspension off, and all of the plastics mostly off. And luckily, we now have all the parts from the shop to put our front suspension back together. We've also got all the parts and all the wheels clean to put the rear end back together. So that's where I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna go backwards, starting with the rear, putting that all back, and then work my way up to the front. Rear end's all done. The new chain is on. I had to take out several links to make it fit. The chain I bought is a 520 by 120 links, and this bike used 112. So the previous owner just put on the full 120, and that's why it had so much slack and the adjustment was all the way bottomed out. So those are a few things that just, it just kind of tore up this whole section. You had this extra long chain just, just beating up this whole chain guard. And I was really scared that that long chain would pop off the sprocket and cause me to crash. So new chain is on, adjusted properly with the right amount of links. Plus I've cleaned the whole rear rim. It looks really nice now. And I've taken out that kind of basic rim stripe that was going around it. So whole rear end looks pretty good. I'm gonna put some of these pieces back on. I've cleaned the air filter. It's a K&N, which is really nice. So I've just cleaned it, scrubbed it, and put on a new coat of K&N oil. So new air filter. Now let's move to the front. That's the part I'm excited about. Here's my lower triple clamp. I got it back from the shop. I pounded on this bearing, well, the old bearing, to take off for about an hour, and it didn't even budge. So the shop did it for me for $35 and packed my bearing, sealed it all up, which is $35 to free up some time, allowed me to do the rear end. And I know that my bearing was packed right, so it should be able to slide right in there. Yeah, perfect. That looks really good. So I'll put on the bearing up top and then start buttoning everything up here. Here's the upper bearing. I'm gonna have to pack this with grease. To pack it with grease, you just get a glove. You can put it on your hand, but I like to stay clean and just start mashing it in there and just try to get all that grease into the bearing. Roll it, scoop it, roll it, scoop, roll it, scoop, repeat, until all of that grease gets embedded into your bearing. And then once it's all in there, take it for a little spin, make sure all of that grease moves around, takes up all of that space. The reason these things wear out is usually rust. If these are lubricated and stays sealed, they last, longer than your attention span with the motorcycle. So usually some of the culprit is if you live in a corrosive environment, like by the beach or something, that'll kind of sap some of the grease out of here. If you power wash your bike and you power wash the headstock, that's another opportunity for the grease to be pushed out of its cage here. So this bike I bought was from Orange County by the beach, and once it kind of made sense, with the age of the bike and kind of where it's spent most of its life, it was just corroded away. So upper bearing, whoa, that's looking real good. Oh my god, this was more pain than I thought it was gonna be. I have the front forks reassembled. Oh, that was a bit of a struggle. I don't know what it was. I don't know, the forks are a bit heavy and I just didn't have a good position on it, but thank goodness they're in. Front tires in, I'm about to put the front brakes and then try to reassemble all this. So wish me luck. So that's about the most I can do on the front end right now. I have a new front bearing and a new headlight that I'm going to put on, but those parts aren't here yet. So I don't want to tidy that up anymore without those parts, because I'm just going to end up doing that work again. But I do have new grips that I'm going to put on the bike, so I'm going to cut these out and put these grips in. And then readjust my crash bars or my hand guards. They're all funky, so I'm just going to tidy that up for now. The bike is all buttoned up and I'm ready to go for a little test ride. Let's see how she runs. So to recap all that we did, we changed this front bearing, which feels a lot smoother now. Starts right up. There we go. All right, front bearing does feel pretty good. It was pretty sticky before. Garage is closed. All the bearings are off. I don't have a front headlight. Front brake is brand new, so I gotta kind of feel that in. But let's go for a little test drive. Okay, it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. When I first test rode this, the head steering was so bad. So right now it feels smooth. I feel like I can actually steer the bike. Okay. Oh, so much smoother with that chain not flapping every time I decelled. So this is this is awesome. Yeah. This bike feels pretty good. I'm not gonna go too crazy right now because I still have a whole bunch of maintenance items to do. So far on the feel, the throttle is really hard to turn. But as far as the back and forth, looks like the head steering is a lot better now. Front brake, new brake pads don't feel great, but you know, that's okay. They'll get better as they break in. Rear brake feels like it needs to get the feel into it too. But guys, we are on the road on the project bike pretty early. I think this project is going to be pretty good. I'm pretty optimistic of how this project is going so far. When I did take the seat apart, I found the 3x3 mods already done. So performance wise, this bike looks great. That guy just ran that red light. 100% just ran that red light. Power feels pretty good. Man, so I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. The bike is on the road. Most of the fairings are on it. The steering feels pretty good. So what we did is made it much more manageable to maneuver. So that feels real nice. Yeah, I would consider this episode a success. I'm gonna wrap it here. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and comment below. See how it's going. Next episode we should be doing some body work. I'm gonna have some decals for this guy that I'm gonna put on, and hopefully it comes out pretty good. So thank you guys so much for watching. The bike's on the road today, and I'll see you in the next episode.